good to know.
Good old Roll20. I just got a message in Roll20 saying I was lagging behind. I'm not doing anything in it.
Sounds about right. I love it though. It's a good program. Free, you know.
Also a gigantic module, so there's probably a shit ton of
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this map isn't too big, this next one, but I'm trying to copy stuff over.
Oh yeah, you probably have like a huge library of assets you gotta dig through every time. That's what's doing it.
Well, yeah. But I had meant to put this down on the map before, and apparently when I did it, I didn't. It must have been lagging or something. It didn't take.
It's cool.
We're still high-fiving over this successful boat ride.
Yeah, that giant wasp situation was pretty dope.
That was genuinely good thinking. Good work.
Yeah.
My plan was way worse.
Was it fight them?
It was martyrdom.
Yeah, I was gonna try it. My original plan was to jump on one, but I was like, wait a minute. I got smoke in a jar.
I was about to dive in the river.
Your positioning is all messed up, but you're up in the top right corner there.
I just see darkness.
That's weird.
Zooming out. Yeah, dark.
Amazing. Hold on. Well, this is exciting. Should be visible now.
Oh, it's oh.
Yep.
Excitement.
Oh, okay, there it goes. Took a moment.
So, as I said, you can kind of see where you're looking at now. It does look like there are guards. Most of them appear to be Cholton. A couple of Faerunian folk are kind of up there staring down at you. Go ahead and position yourselves on your boats, but you're pretty much landing on shore. So, yeah. As you kind of are nearing the visible site of the ship, the very first thing you notice is that Silver Tusk kind of approaches the front of her boat and raises a symbol up into the air, which starts to glow with holy light. And you can see above her the symbol of Torm's hand kind of appear in the sky above her. Those that were on top of the walls with bows drawn, kind of, or crossbows drawn, kind of lower their weaponry so they don't look like they're in position to loose. That's it. Hackenstone and Saza start to set the ship to tie them off on one of those tree trunks there. And what would you guys like to do? You hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Um,
I still can't see the map.
Can we ask you and Hackenstone, that is, and Azaka, if they know anyone at the camp, so that to help with our arrival?
Hackenstone says, "This isn't my rodeo. This is a pretty new camp. I've never been here before. Looks nice. They've really fucked up the jungle." Sasa says, "I too am not going to enter into that place. It looks foul and distasteful." She says that she, after tying her boat off, just sits on a stump.
I think Silver Tusk is our liaison for this.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and just like gesture for her to like lead on, see who you need to see, and we'll get what we came for. Hopefully, the information.
She says, "Well, I'll be staying here. If you would be so kind as to help me move the supplies into the camp."
Yeah.
Krusk uses his muscles and gets the crate.
Perfect.
I'll give him a hand unless there's more.
She starts to move towards the. It looks like there's kind of a hill that goes up to the main gate of the camp. As you approach, you notice that the two guards up top kind of look down, and one of them kind of disappears from sight.
I'll stop there.
She kind of stops, near the gate. The gate guard kind of looks down to her and says, "Hail, fellow member of the Order. Looks like you've made your way safely to Camp Vengeance." "Aye, I have. Allow us entry?" She says. "Of course. First, we must make sure that the commander is aware of your presence, and we'll admit your entry. Who are these that are with you?" "Well, they are helping me carry these supplies we found out on the river. They are hired sellswords. They have been hired to bring me to the camp, and they have made an excellent effort of the process. We have seen some strange dilemmas on the riverway." The guard nods. Sounds like my trip here. It shouldn't be much more of a moment then, milady." After a fashion, you hear the gates start to open up, and kind of exiting out of the forest. You see that a couple of guards and an individual. Let me see if I got him right here. Hold on. Appears to be a very noble-looking fellow, kind of walking out, and looks to her and says, "Hail, member of the Gauntlet. I am Niles Breakbone, and I am the leader of this camp. So, we'll take the supplies from you, and if you're here to station up, that is wonderful. I have nothing more for these sellswords, but if they need a place to stay for the day or the evening, I suppose I can afford them that for bringing us such a loyal servant of the Order." Nods his head. She kind of nods her head and kind of moves over to him and kind of whispers something to him. And he says, of course. And if you have any questions for me, then I suppose I will answer them as readily as I can."
Doral will chime in and hold up the Torm symbol we found in the other camp and explain to the best of his ability what might have happened there, if that was another of their installations.
"Camp Righteous. Yes, it was. We were assaulted when we entered that place. We were attacked by things of the wild. Probably have heard of them, goblins. Shamanistic, more powerful than we anticipated. Much more powerful than goblins we've seen in our days in Faerun. So, we were also already having a problem of supplies and maintaining any kind of amount of hydration, and, well, it was a mess. Fortunately, we were able to relocate and build this great fort with the assistance of some Chultan individuals, kind of gesturing up to the crossbowmen up on the towers.
I'd hand the symbol over to him, make sure he keeps it.
He takes it and places it into a pouch on his side.
Have we delivered him the supplies?
Yeah, I presume you'd put him next to the barrels of water that are just off to the side there.
Sorry, what was the commander's name again?
Niles Breakbone.
How long have you has the Order been out here in the water?
Just about a month. Well, 2 months? Kind of looks around like he's not sure. Well, here, anyways. We spent about 3 months at Camp Righteous. Efforts were put in place to build this place up, but the very first sortie that arrived in this location was not as successful as we were. Fortunately, my study of the militant arts was useful, quintessential, in making sure we were able to build a defendable fort. Defendable from those vile beasts. We haven't found much in the way of what we came to seek, but the priestess do grow wary and are hopeful that they can do their gods work here in the jungles and bring the light of radiance down upon the foul creatures that plague it.
Oh, what do you seek in these jungles?
Undead. We wish to destroy them all. But
Crusade then.
aye, we've been having a lot of problems with local creatures, though.
Commander, with your permission, I'd be happy to inspect the grounds, make sure your walls are fortified to a higher degree if I'm capable of it.
We won't turn away any help, but if you do make any means to try and sabotage us, we will, of course, have words.
I'll gladly do so under your supervision.
I have no time for that. I am a bit busy making sure that all letters are ready to be sent back north. Is that your intention to head back to Port Nyanzaru after you've delivered your charge?
We were actually.
No, go ahead.
Kevin.
No, yeah, I was just gonna straight cut him off and say, no, we've actually got to go to the Firefinger. And I'll shoot. It's Azaka, right? Who needs to go there to look.
She didn't come in, so if you're in there talking to Niles, she's nowhere near you.
I try to look for her. I'm like, oh shit, she's gone. But yeah, we're going to the Firefinger next.
I don't know what that is.
In your time spent out here, Commander, have you heard any word or rumor of a kind of old one? Kind of like darts his head and his one good eye is kind of like looking around. Just aim. He's like, have you heard of the Soulmonger? And then a crack of lightning just happened.
No.
Proud looking.
I don't think I have. There's reports that there's a powerful necromancer hiding in the woods. There are also reports that Fae and Red Wizards are all out and about. I would keep yourself wary. We've had sightings of an Acquisitions Incorporated floating balloon southwards. But beyond that, not terribly much in the way of what you say, whatever that was. Soulmonger?
John, would we know what Acquisitions Incorporated is?
Yeah, Acquisitions Incorporated is based in Waterdeep. It is a conglomerate association headed by masked lord of Waterdeep named Omen Drawn. Omen Drawn is the main entrepreneur of the organization. They're effectively hired whatever. They take any job. They do whatever is needed, and they're very proud and boisterous of their connection to the organization.
So if there's a balloon and it's theirs, that means someone has hired them for some reason.
Right, or they're just going on about their own business. I mean,
Probably like us.
This guy says he knows nothing about the Soulmonger. Does he seem pretty on the up and up, or like do you think he's like? Does it seem almost like he's holding something?
yeah, it seems like he just doesn't seem to know what you're talking about at all.
Oh. Well, in that case, we were also promised compensation for delivering your priestess.
Ah, aye. Well then, how much did they promise?
Is Silvertusk still with us?
She's gone off to the tent on the right side of the main tent.
Oh, I can't remember. Shadow, you're usually the finance guy. What's gold are we
Am
promised?
I? I have no idea how much.
Yo, hike that price up, boys.
Oh, fuck. But how much was Hackenstone?
Was it 100 gold pieces?
This-
50 gold pieces?
Wasn't it like 100 and something?
Must have been over 100, because, like, wouldn't it have to also cover part of the cost of the guide, and he cost us like 100? Oh, I'm just using, how about a nice round number, like 200?
200. Well, I don't think we have that in our coffers here. Most of the gold hasn't even made it or stayed here. I can offer you 50, and I suppose I can offer you. Well, we need it more than you, but you've done us a great service in bringing us a priestess. I can offer you this, and kind of pulls out what appears to be a mace.
Oh. A holy weapon, I presume?
Aye, that is correct. It is my order of tier.
I'll take a look at it if I can.
Sure. It's like a finely
I'm not-
crafted mace. Just on initial inspection, you can kind of tell that there are small etchings that denote that it's been enchanted in some way, shape, or form. Yeah,
You said mace, not warhammer, right?
mace, correct.
If I have time later, I'll do identify
Okay.
hullabaloo. I can't remember the term, but for now, if they don't mind, I'm gonna inspect the grounds, at least the barricades.
Okay.
No, this is fine compensation. The only other thing, in return for returning your supplies, can we find refuge in the camp for the night until we plan on moving out to our next destination?
Yeah, again, I offered that. That's perfectly fine. We don't have much in the way of supplies, so we can't offer you too much of that. Hopefully, you've brought your own provisions, and we will make sure that you are protected, though. But we cannot feed or water you.
It's not a problem. Just nice high walls will be a nice change from the jungle.
Okay. And yeah, the walls are quite high, about 12 feet high, but the ditch is about 20 feet below it, so they actually seem to stand about 30 feet off of where one might start to climb. So, yeah, it looks like the wash has changed. You can tell that there are a lot of soldier types in the tents in the back there. It does look like the tent that Silver Tusk entered into. It's being utilized as a hospital tent, and you can see that there's another priestess inside. She looks like she's a Cholton local, but she looks like she's adorned with the accoutrement of priestess of Tyr, and they appear to be kind of healing individuals who look like they have, looks like they've had a rough time of it in the forest. All different types of maladies seem to be plaguing them. Some of them look like they've actually taken on serious wounds, but some of them also look like they're just sick, diseased in some way. That said,
How does their water supply look for the camp?
looks good. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's too bad. It looks like they have a number of rain catchers as well.
Okay. If we have an ally out here against the undead, I want to make sure they're have a chance at surviving.
Sure. It looks like they do, but from what you could tell outside, it looked like there were something I didn't mention before, and I should have. I apologize, but it looks like there were piles of human bodies that were kind of laying out and about. It looks like they had been kind of put to the torch.
Do we recognize that as some like a ritualistic thing? Or?
No.
Just like a disease spread problem.
Yeah, possibly. That second one. You'd also notice that there's also flayed animal carcasses and like bones of larger creatures kind of torn up, ripped apart for their meat, laying outside the camp as well. And yeah, the trees, of course, being cut down and pretty much just clear cut in the area around the river, around the camp.
Anything we can do about the dead bodies and animal carcasses?
They're well outside the camp. It looks
Okay,
like they're just
okay.
kind of using.
So these are smart enough
Yeah, they're not dumb.
campers. Good.
Do you guys want to rest for the day since we're kind of on this night cycle, and then we can push out for the Firefinger at night?
That's fine.
I'm not with you, but if we discuss that with our leaders, they might not want to travel the jungle at night as much as they wanted to travel the water at night.
Yeah, we can reconvene at the boat and ask Azaka where. I think
Yeah.
she's probably gonna be taking over now since
Next
now.
stop is overland.
Yeah. She thinks, or when she wants to push out.
How wide is this river, John?
It depends. It varies. In this
Like where we're
current
standing.
current position, about 150 feet.
That's a big ass river.
Yeah, it's not small.
But
If we were to set off across land, and it's going to be on the east side of the river from where we are, would it be prudent to dock our boats here and leave them here instead of drag them across the jungle?
I think we need to, in order to get to the Firefinger. I'm trying to remember the map at the top of my head.
it should be due west
It's in
of
the assets.
the last camp.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking we were gonna like
Maybe
triangle over to
try.
the east. My bad.
So is it on this side of the river? Because if so, maybe we should leave our boats with these guys.
Opposite.
Oh, we'd have to
so
go to the
that's
opposite
why
side.
It's opposite. So then, yeah, we're kind of fucked.
We're essentially just gonna have to tie the boats off and hope nothing happens to them.
We'll drag them ashore, tie them off,
Yeah,
Well,
we could.
well up out of the water.
Yeah.
How big are the boats? Like, we have a bunch of big, strong, burly men. Could we beach them well enough into the shore and then like cover them with a bunch of?
So, are you
Probably.
are you asking the members of the camp to keep an eye on them, or like
Well, we have to take them across the river, right?
Yeah, so they'll be on the other side of the river. That's right.
And yeah, there's no way unless we ask them to have a guy in one of their boats bring another guy across to ferry our boat back, and then we can like signal them when we come back, like, "Hey, man, we're done. Bring us." We could do that.
If
Yeah,
that's
if we
an
have-
option, that'd be cool.
Yeah, if we have the smoke signal to let them know when we're back. If they don't mind dragging our boats back here for safety.
Because I think that's probably the most guaranteed way we don't lose the boat. Otherwise, we could try and beach it and bury it in the jungle, and maybe it won't get ruined. But
The if you're asking the commander to do that as a favor, let me know.
I think so. I think that's a good move. What do you guys think?
Yeah, if they're
I'm with it.
willing.
I don't know. I'd love to do you a favor. I really would, but I honestly think that if we're going to help you, perhaps you could help us in another manner.
Of course.
Ask him what he has in mind. Because I have something in mind already.
No, the answer's already yes.
I mean, dude, we got the alchemy jar, and I have this keg of Tej. I could like give him the Tej, or we could give him a bunch of beer and be like, "Here you go."
Look,
These are priests.
where's the fire figure from here? Is it to the west? Is it to the south? Where is it? Is it to the east? Where is it?
I immediately look towards our tracker, Old One Eye.
It was east northeast from this camp.
If you're
Yeah, it's due west, and then I think a little north.
if you go back
Oh no, it's east. It's far east. Yeah,
East,
it's all the
northeast.
way east. Yeah.
if you go back out and ask, you would actually see that Azaka is actually sitting on the stump a bit differently now, and appears to be drawing on your map right now. She kind of looks over to you as you kind of move to approach her to ask her the question, and she says, "I've updated the map for the future trip. Here, take a look. I've coursed out a plot and plan. It should be a bit dangerous, but if we're careful, we may be able to avoid the more volatile portions of the jungle where
Oh.
the denizens are located."
Geez, yeah, this is gonna be a trek through the jungle. Like,
We need to
Oh,
make
no.
sure we avoid. There's a place down there known as Dungrilung, the residents of which are very territorial. But if we can avoid it and the denizens of it, we should be better off.
Hey, real quick, John, can you verify? Is that a river going southeast
No.
along the edge of the hexes?
Ping it.
I don't see a river.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The
I think
orange.
it's green.
The orange is not. The thing that the Tiriki is a river. Yeah.
That the dark line along the edge of the hexes is not river.
No.
That's just the edge of the jungle, I think.
Okay.
Where it
Just
opens up
wanted
into
to check, 'cause
grasslands, maybe?
It
Yeah.
looks the same as river while it's half
Fair.
covered.
So So we're looking at like
Okay, yeah.
150 miles trek through the jungle. No, we're not going straight there.
Oh, you don't want to? We can't go across the River Tariki.
I mean, we could. That would,
Is that better? Will?
they're telling us not to
Yeah,
go
you-
through the
I could-
hexes there.
Oh, true.
Yeah, if you
Yeah. In
remember.
order to answer Niles' question, we're like going southeast and then north to the Firefinger.
Hold up. Couldn't we go like back up the river the way we came to like here, and then go across the jungle like that?
But then we're not mapping new territory.
He's-
Shadow.
If you go back to him
Yeah,
and
not
say,
new territory.
True.
We have to make a map.
if you go back to him and say, "Look, this is the path that we're planning on going, and we're kind of working out how we're going to do it," he says, "Well, if you're heading east, then great, perfect. My scouts have detected that the lair of these grung who keep attacking my people, more so viciously than the undead do, have been causing me problems since we've been here. They lair in a place called Dungrilung, and I want them all dead. If you go and deal with them, I'll help you in any way you want."
Do we get the sense that he's withholding something?
I don't know.
What is a grung?
Grung, they're folk who live in the jungle, but they're frog-like. Have you ever seen a bullywug? It's that, but smaller.
Yeah.
More like a tree frog.
Oh, okay.
I like them already.
Oh, I was gonna say we could probably murder them pretty easy. They're frog people.
Frogs can be poisonous.
Yeah, but poisonous means you have to like eat them in order to get poisoned.
Yeah,
So-
they're not
not
venomous.
necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Venom and poison, it's the difference.
Yeah, you're thinking about. Are you saying they're venomous?
I don't know, dude. I just know they can kill you.
If it bites you and you get hurt, that's venom.
Azaka
Bite
said,
it.
"Don't go there."
Payroth, you should have 1,000-yard stare at everything. But you should, nothing should phase you anymore.
Bees, frogs. It's an unlikely list. Dinosaur, no big deal.
Well, so if we avoid Dungerlung, we have to figure out something else to do with the boats to keep them safe. But if we go squish some frogs, then they'll take care of the boats for us.
So I have this theory with Zach's abilities. What if we take the boats across, we turn one of them into a wagon, because he can make wheels.
There's an
And we
upper
roll
limit
that
to the
bitch.
value I can make it. Wagon
How
would
much does a
probably be out
wheel
of it.
cost? No, you just have to make the wheels and then attach them.
So, I don't know if you've ever been in a jungle, but a wagon's not going to move too terribly. well.
Obviously, I haven't. So a wagon's going to be great.
John, look
Also,
at him
we
and tell me he's
need
been
to
to a
carry
jungle.
Our water.
The wagon's not going to work in a jungle. Everyone
Make
who's
some kind of simple cart to carry the water, because we need water.
that's a accurate
I'll make like a water backpack or something if that's the case.
I'm gonna say,
make
might
us
be
all
more likely to
plan.
just have rungs for the thing and put it on someone's back.
No, we don't want that, because then it's going to be like triple the cost in water to carry it.
Well, I mean we've got create water and what's it?
And we have an alchemy jug. We can just.
Oh
make
yeah, we
water.
we got so many
For
answers to
final.
the water
We have so
problem.
much mayonnaise, dude.
And aren't you a Goliath? Goliaths carry shit like it's no big deal.
Not in this environment, because John's punishing me.
We'll get nude, dude. Get nude
He
and
does
carry
hate
my
the
water.
big boys.
wearing armor. What are you guys doing?
I'm wearing armor, is what I'm doing.
Brace your inner loincloth.
So, to be sure, you guys are planning on
Goliath.
leaving behind the the container that you were using for the water. Obviously, it's not going to be something you're going to be able to travel around with pretty easily. And the goal is to dock the ships on the other side, or have yourselves ferried out by the members of Camp Vengeance and brought back. It seems like Niles Breakbone is keen on you dealing with these grung at Dungrelung. That's a tongue twister. If he's going to assist you. It also sounds like if you're going to say no, he's probably going to be standoffish past this point.
We
can
brought him
look
as
into it.
priestess. This
What
guy's
a
just
little
big.
baby. Yeah, dude.
Maybe they're nice. Maybe he just hadn't tried talking to them
He paid
I don't
you
think so.
in coin and also gave you a magic weapon.
for a different.
We gave
No,
him
no,
a priestess.
No, that's what he was. So Jeremy was like, we gave him a priestess, and I'm like, that's been paid for.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
We got
fine with
our guide is saying don't go there, like specifically don't go there. And then this guy who said they've been getting like dicked is like, oh yeah, totally go there, dude. I can't go there. We've been getting wrecked by there, but you guys could totally go there.
Who's got
Doesn't
rope?
seem like a good idea.
Rope?
Yeah,
Why don't
can
we just ask Kazaka for more information?
I got rope. I can make chain. What do you got? What do you
Yeah.
need?
Well, we can take the boats across and then just lift them up and tie them off in the trees.
That
So
was
harder to
option
get.
B if he said no. So we could do that.
Yeah, I think we just, unless one of you guys has some ties to this dude because he's part of your order or something.
No, I never actually went into camp. I'm just spitballing from outside.
Oh, then
Grud's just
I think
hypothesizing
we
what
just
the
say screw this guy.
conversation could be.
it's not worth dying.
So I would ask you before, John, if it seems like he was holding anything back about this problem they're having with these.
No, it sounds like it's pretty straightforward. He does sound like he is immensely hateful of the Grung. It sounds like he doesn't like them at all, based on his tone.
Let's ask Azaka. Tell us more about Dungerlung. You're telling us don't go there. Now he's saying for more help, we have to go there. What's the deal?
You
Build better wall.
hear Hackenstone go, "Oh, are we fucking with Grung?" Kind of scratching his head with his hand. Should be fun. And then you hear Azaka reply, "Dungerlung is a strange sight. The Grung that are there, most Grung are tribal and very kind of amicable. They don't do too much in the ways of being hostile or aggressive. But the Dungerlung Grung are ruled by a king, and the king's name is Grog. Based on everything we've seen of the Grung there, they're very aggressive, very focused on killing anything and everything around them. My presumption is that campsite we saw the other night was assaulted by representatives of Grog. I say we avoid it if we don't want to deal with Grung at all.
How many of them are there?
Dozens, possibly hundreds. I don't know.
This guy's trying to get us to go perform genocide to watch a boat. Not valuable.
Well, he said he'd pretty much help us with anything else going forward if we did this, so I think it's more than just boat sitting. Like, we need anything
Well, what
else.
does he have to offer us, man? I don't. It
Official
seems like his task is like way up here, and then what he's gonna give us is like
He doesn't care if we die.
way down.
He doesn't care. If we
Official
die.
answer. Official
Yeah.
answer is we'll see what we can do.
That's what I
We won't
think.
ask-
Yeah, and then we just avoid it at all costs. Oh, we couldn't
I
find
can't-
him, man.
My friends and I can't make any promises for this Dungerlung situation, and I do apologize for that.
We'll tell you what. We'll kill any Grung that cross our path.
I think that's the answer.
He kind of says, "Fine, yeah, we'll hold your boats. That's fine. If you do assault Dungerlung and deal with that foul king of theirs, then I'll be most gracious. I'll be even more gracious if you bring back his head on a pike. But I understand if that's not something you want to do. We'll ferry you across and we'll hold your boats here."
We'll send up a smoke signal when we're ready to be picked up.
From across.
We'll send we'll do 3 puffs, then 2 puffs, then 3 puffs. That's how you know it's us.
Okay. He kind of. All right. Well, speak to and says another person's name and says, "Go talk to them. They'll help you across when you're ready." Of course, if you're sleeping throughout the day, what have you. I don't advise traveling during the night in the jungle. It's unwise.
Great. Now we got to readjust our circadian rhythms again.
Well, that's what Niall suggests. So.
We'll we'll take that into account. We have some very capable guides with us.
Okay, well, do what you need to do. It's fine. Like I said,
In the meantime, in the 24 hours that we'll be here, is there any way we could assist you?
24 hours.
12, 14, however long we're going to be here. I don't mean to
Yeah.
overstay this grandiose welcome.
Immediately after saying that, you realize you're really tired and don't want to help him.
Okay.
Sleep is definitely on the docket for you guys. Silver Tusk will go ahead and get you some beds in the hospital chamber if you want to utilize those, or you can go ahead and sleep out on the boats, etc. Hackenstone, if anybody comes out there, says, "So yeah, what's the deal? What are we doing?"
We'll sleep here, regain our strength, and then Azaka can decide when it's the best time for us to make for the fire.
Night, of course. She scratches her face and kind of looks to you. The map, and kind of gestures for it to be returned to her.
Sure. As I'm handing the map, I'm saying the commander, he didn't recommend traveling the jungle at night, but you seem to be keen on it.
He's a fool.
Any particular reason why?
You can see at night, can you not?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't have dark. No, I don't, dark, lizard folk don't have dark.
No.
Oh,
How many abilities?
I could see at night.
pretty sure I can.
Night is the more awake time. If you are awake during the day, you're more visible. So, if you are concealed at night, it's less likely that you're seen at a long distance unless you make a loud and bright visualization of yourself.
Just so you're aware, not our entire party can't see it well in the night, so we will have lanterns lit if we're going to be traversing.
Most wild creatures are not keen to run up on fire. Some will be attracted by the light, but they won't be keen on dealing with flames. And she says that as she makes a mark on the map and hands it back to you. There's Dungrilung. If it is your intention to assist the commander in his endeavors and do what he suggests, there it is. But I have means to keep away from it and keep clear of it. We'll go around it on the southern side, keep our distance, and head north towards the Firefinger if it's our intent to head that way. Someone had suggested traveling back up the river, and that's a foolish plan, in that going upstream would be problematic. And as you're already aware, Camp Righteous was attacked by the undead, and my presumption is it's probably more likely that we have problems there. Also, then there's the crossing of the River Tairiki on the other side of our endeavor. I have desires to go around it, where it meets its terminus.
As you say, then like Old One Eye will just kind of give out a long yawn, and then he'll make a bed. I'll take Silvertusk's hospitality and sleep on a bedroll.
Okay. Silvertusk, after kind of like spending a little time, kind of walks over to you, Old One Eye, and says, "You're really planning on going into the jungles, yeah?"
It's what we're getting paid for.
Here. And she hands you a bottle. Don't tell anyone I gave it to you, but it'll probably serve you better out there than it will the folks here.
I kind of hold up to like my one good eye, and what is it?
It's a potion of healing.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Get some sleep. You'll need it. And she goes back to engaging in the processes she was engaging in before. Anybody have any other business in Camp Vengeance they want to do before they get to sleep?
Nope. I'm drinking with Hackenstone on the boat. That's it. And we sleep.
I'd like to ritual cast Identify on that mace if I can.
It's a mace of smiting.
Sweet. I'm gonna Google that.
You just search for it in the compendium. Mace of Smiting is a +1 mace. But it does, it's a +3 mace. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Oh my god, and it crits
Wow.
like a freight train.
Crits like a son of a bitch.
Damn.
You guys mind
Yeah,
if I hold on to this? I'm kind of a mace guy myself.
Go for it.
If we find any robots, you're up, champ.
Robots, what?
It messes up constructs.
Yeah, 4d6 if it's a construct.
Ah.
If it has 25 or fewer hit points, it just dies.
Correct.
Nifty. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's not as if you're using a two-handed weapon, it's not anything like crazy. It is a rare magic weapon, but yeah.
Take my stuff.
All right. If nothing else happens in the sleep cycles, nothing eventful happens while you're in Camp Vengeance. You awaken, and basically the scene kind of cuts to the night. Torches lit up on the tops of Camp Vengeance's walls. The doors open up, and everyone kind of moves out of the camp over to the boats. They load you up onto your boats, and you see that two groups of three of the guards kind of come out with you, get on their boats, and start riding alongside you to the opposite side. Once you make it to the other side, Hackenstone kind of ties off a rope around the front of the boat, tosses it to the guards who capture it, tie it to the back of their boat, and start dragging his boat aside. And then you see Azaka kind of wave her hand away, pull the boat in, and start folding it like it was nothing more than cloth. And you're kind of surprised by this fact as she does it, and folds it into a small box, which she then puts into her bag.
Damn.
One problem gone.
Damn. All right, origami master.
Isn't that earlier?
Folding boat.
What was that?
Damn, Hackenstone, why doesn't your boat do that?
He kind of goes, huh, interesting. She kind of shakes her head.
Grunt, grab the other end. We'll match it.
We can fold it. We can fold it.
Fuck this boat.
Just smash it in half. It's a taco. It's a taco. And then you're off. Okay. So at the beginning of the night, you will effectively be in the square directly. You'll be in this square. Go ahead and place yourself there. And then as you start your movements, we'll go ahead and move from that position. Azaka is leading you to move along the outside of this orange line until you get to here, and then move through and around to the Firefinger. She tells. Go ahead.
Sorry, what exactly is this orange line designating? Is it like the thickness of the jungle, or is it literally just like danger?
Danger.
Okay.
Yeah. The darker the orange, the more dangerous the portion of the jungle.
Oh god, okay.
So she's kind of designating you to kind of keep to the outskirts of the jungle where it's safer, and then move through the harsher parts only when you have to. So that said, day one of travel will be a total of 3 hexes, which will be moved by our good friend Kevin, and I'll need a total of 3 d20 rolls as you're doing it. Okay.
17, 15, 5.
Your first
It was your turn. Good job.
Your first night of travel is uneventful. Not much happens as you move through the safer portions of the area. You kind of, feel very comfortable in the matters, and are traveling along pretty quickly. As you guys are traveling about, again, you have your water skins full. By the end of the night, your water skins are depleted, and you did not bring the huge keg of water with you, right? Okay.
Correct.
All right. So before you bed down for the night or for the day, Azaka is kind of looking for a place to kind of settle, and she finds that near where the Aldani Basin kind of meets with the river, and there's a bit of runoff on the side of the basin that you're on. She finds some trees that are actually kind of up out of the earth and kind of form like natural kind of shelters. She makes sure one is cleared out, kind of keeping her bow trained on it as she approaches it, and she enters into it and says, "This should be satisfactory." She unfolds her boat, sets it down so that you're not laying around and squish, and then everybody can kind of lay out on the boat as you take your sleep, and those who are not watching will get the chance to sleep in there. So, who's holding the mace?
That'd be me, Doral.
Okay, you'll be utilizing it. Okay. Cool. So you guys bed down in the location there. Of course, during the day, you'll need 3 more d20 rolls. as you kind of cycle through the day. And I need watch schedule. Hackenstone is on first, and Azaka is on last.
Do you want watch schedule before the D20s?
Yeah.
Do you want
How
to
did
do
we
it in
it
pairs?
before?
Might be safer to go in pairs, because then we can have 3 pairs to get through the night, which would be more than enough.
And like I said, Azaka is on the last watch, and Hackenstone's on the first one.
We need to cover 2 watches then.
Do we want to split up big boys and
Well, you can put
small boys?
one on one, 1 on 3, and then 2 on 1, or on the middle, and then you could have like 2 people just sleep throughout.
I'll go first.
Okay, so you're on with Hackenstone. Okay, who's on second watch?
I volunteer as tribute.
Okay, who
Okay.
else is on 2nd?
I'll do third watch.
Third.
Watch.
Third watch with Azaka. Okay, and then who's on second watch with?
I'll do it.
Okay, and then that's a very good choice, by the way, because the Goliaths are the ones that are most likely to get exhausted because of their gear. So perfect. You guys will bed down for 12 hours, and the rest of you will kind of keep up and focused. That said, on the first watch, roll me that d20.
16.
All right, pretty uneventful. Hackenstone is moves over to another of the trees and kind of pulls out his battle axe, starts kind of cutting into it, breaking it up a bit. Do you kind of go and investigate what he's doing while he's doing that?
No, I'll just keep watch over the others.
Okay.
I trust him that he knows what he's doing.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. Doral. Chody's here, but he's not here. He should actually be on the first watch, and you should be asleep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't think about Chody, because, again, he's just kind of NPCing over there in the corner. But in truth, it should be him that's doing it. So nobody pays attention to what's happening on first watch. It's smarter to keep the Goliaths fully rested. Second watch was One Eye and Peyroth.
Yeah.
Okay, Hackenstone and Rusk wake you up. Rusk beds down immediately. Hackenstone kind of spends a little bit of time drinking and then passes out. You notice that on some of the trees nearby that there are cut marks. Looks like an axe has been taken to them. And it looks like a bit of the sap from inside is kind of still leaking out of these trees. Sorry, Furbolg. The Furbolg. Not the Goliath. I apologize. But anyways, One Eye, Peyroth. Anything you guys want to do during your watch before you roll me a 20-sided dice?
We found extra quivers, so what I'm gonna do, because I just want to have a gorillion arrows, I'm gonna take one of the new quivers and kind of adjust the part that would go over your torso and adjust the strap so that I can wrap around my waist. So effectively, I'll have a quiver on my back and then one around my waist. Essentially, I just have a million arrows for days.
Sounds good. Yeah, it looks like both of the quivers probably can fit a total of 30. So if you have 60 arrows on.
Yeah, with what we found there, I definitely
Okay. Remember, Shadow also has a short bow, so I don't know if you wanted some of those.
Yeah, I think we found 40,
You found
45.
45.
So if we split them evenly, then it'd be
22, 23.
I'd take 22.
22 and a half each.
Okay. Great. Go ahead and roll a 20-sided dice.
Oh, here it comes. 8.
Okay, doing good. The day is going by pretty uneventfully. Out here close to where the jungle's kind of open up a bit, you can kind of see how the sun is kind of beating down on everything and just kind of harshly causing humidity to kind of fill out. But it seems like the underneath of this tree is kind of like a natural buffer. It seems to kind of keep a bit of the humidity out, like the tree is kind of drinking up the water around you. Uneventful. And then you wake up, Shadow, and Azaka wakes up for third watch.
Mhm.
Andy, go ahead and roll me a d20. This is the best part. And the rest of the day is uneventful. Azaka kind of maintains a perimeter, kind of keeps to herself throughout the watch, and then comes back in once everyone's kind of up and at 'em. If you're preparing your spells, do so, and then she folds the boat back up. Anything anybody else wants to do?
We need to resupply on water.
Yeah, we're gonna find a source because we don't have that spell.
We have a source. Bust out the alchemy job.
Okay.
Pop the water cork. Be good.
Yeah. So the alchemy jug, I believe it's 10 gallons. I think.
You've still got several water skins, right?
They can produce 8 gallons of fresh water.
8 gallons of fresh. Okay. So yeah, as we discussed, you have about 10 gallons amongst a lot of you. 10 gallons worth of water skins available to you. So should be good. All right. And then you guys continue traveling. Go ahead and give me 3 more d20 rolls and 3 more hexes of movement, please. All right.
682.
Uneventful as heck. A really boring, long day. However, there is a point where you get to where you can actually see. Let me make sure that I'm right in this. Yep, there is a point where you can see off in the distance, kind of past the trees to the south of you. It appears that there's a rock just kind of floating in the air over a field to the south.
A floating rock.
What kind of rock?
Stone, just like a kind of floating stone. I'll go ahead and mark it here. Hold on. 1 second.
So this is big if it's that far away.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Like an island or something.
It's pretty big. It's yeah, I mean it's kind of just floating off there in the distance.
Stupid. Floating
Kinda-
rock's why I hated Zendikar.
Kind of elbow
That's
Hackenstone.
60 miles. He goes,
You know anything about that?
yeah, it's the heart of Ubtao. It's the center of Chult.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I've heard the name of that before. I can't recall where.
Well, you've been
That
So,
seems important.
in Chult for a while. You spent some time in Port Nyanzaru, so yeah, I'm sure you heard of it. If you want to make an intelligence check to remember where you heard it from, if you don't have notes on that.
I want to say it was the halflings, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Intelligence check. 0.
Yeah, probably the halflings.
Hmm.
Hell, you might have made it up whole cloth yourself. You don't even remember.
Yeah, I invented that floating stone, the heart of Ubtao.
Hackenson goes, wow. That's amazing.
I bowed at Uktel.
I'm a smith.
Azaka kind of gives you like a shoulder punch and says, don't blaspheme.
Is that me or Grunt?
To you, Doral.
Okay.
When you say, I made it, she kind of punches you in the
Oh.
shoulder and says, don't blaspheme.
Only a jest, and I'll bow as well. Sort of apologize to the stone.
No worries. It's an important religious site for our people. You guys bed down. Not so great situation. Sleep Town here. Looks like it's in kind of a denser part of the jungle, but not as dense as you've seen. Go ahead and give me the same watch schedule. Give me 3d20 rolls.
I rolled 4 Chody last time. Or for the first one. Do you want me to still roll it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
13.
Uneventful. Boring. Next up. I believe that would be Steve. Okay.
critical fail.
All right.
Time for think of T-Rex or something.
That's not how it works.
Right.
So as you two are kind of like sitting out and about, just kind of, paying attention to, the world around you, you hear the sounds of screaming, ah, ah, help anyone. My cat jumps in.
He's probably fine.
He dead.
Save
We're-
you.
We're both hearing this. I jumped to my feet, yo. Who's screaming for help?
You think that it's somewhere kind of in the plains to the south of you. And as you kind of look out that way, kind of paying attention outside of the jungle, you see that moving across the marshlands appear to be these small red-colored creatures, very frog-like but bipedal, kind of moving about. They very quickly kind of move to these bodies on the ground, and very quickly rifle through their stuff, and then bound and off and away. Not seeming to take notice of you and moving in an absolutely different direction than you're at. It looks like the two individuals that are laying out on the field appear to be adventurers.
Do we all see this?
No, you're asleep.
It's me and,
Wait,
me and
so
Steve.
these people were crying for help, and then these little frog people went and looted them?
Your
Or not,
presumption,
Yeah, ran away.
your presumption is that the frogs were stalking them, shot them with arrows, and then took some things from them and left.
Oh, little
Oh,
fuckers.
well, you hate to see this kind of thing happen.
Oh no.
We'll tell Shadow and Azaka to be aware of frog people in the air.
We're not even gonna go see if they're okay or anything. Just like, oh,
The body,
No.
circle away.
They dead.
the bodies are just the bodies are just laying out there. It looks like they weren't picked clean of everything that they have on them. They are just kind of laying out in the field.
I'm going in.
Alright, I'll go with you.
All right, go ahead and make a stealth check, the two of you.
You're gonna
15.
leave us without anybody in the
10.
All right. Roll.
I'm not smart enough to wake you up. I'm sorry.
all sleeping, and you just leave, and there are these killers that just went out.
Come back.
Look,
Everyone's
it says-
throats are slits.
Roll
It's the 8 intelligence at work, okay?
roll a d100.
Oh,
You gotta
no.
go in.
64.
Okay. So as you're kind of approaching the bodies there, Old One Eye, you very quickly notice that the red grungs are kind of out and about with their arrows kind of looking away from you, not really moving up to you. But you kind of like are looking a little bit too cautiously and feel like you're trying to be as stealthy as possible, but you feel out here in the open it's harder. You're just cautiously moving, but you're doing so overly dramatically. You're not moving very fast. Where Peyroth is moving very quickly to the position. He gets over to the bodies first. He very quickly examines the corpses here and sees that one of them appears to be kind of covered in hide armor, very loosely fitted. Looks like an individual that's been traveling out here in the wilds for a little while anyways, but appears to be Chundothan, so from Faerun, from Sword Coast. It looks like the arrows definitely did a number on him. And then the individual that was traveling with him looks like he was a priest, you presume, of some sort. It looks like they are carrying with them a couple of potions and just standard gear besides. One of them looks like they have a Chundothan, or not a Chundothan, a Chultan dagger kind of on their belt. And as you kind of look to it, Peyroth, and kind of pull the dagger out, you can see that it's glowing blue, but the blue glow is fading.
Oh shit, I know what this is. Peyroth doesn't though. I'm taking it because it looks really valuable.
Okay. And the potions, you take those as well?
Yeah, not as interested, but I know they're probably valuable.
Okay. There are 2 total potions and then the dagger, and everything else seems to be kind of... That's literally the name of the game. All right, he heads back over to the group, or to One Eye. You guys head back. The dagger is no longer glowing, like you said it was. So One Eye, you have no reason to believe him in what he said. And the 2 potions appear to be very simple kind of potions. Let me see here what they look like.
Probably give the potions to One Eye because I have no idea what they are.
I know this guy keeps wandering off into the woods and coming back with stuff that always ends up being really interesting. So if he says this dagger probably glows blue, I'm sure it will. I have no reason at this point. He brings a jug and makes
You got bottle of
mayonnaise.
smoke,
With-
infinite mayonnaise.
He finds a vape in the middle of the jungle.
When he hands you
What can't he find?
when he hands, he's been rolling. You guys been rolling really crazy on your random encounters stuff. So
Dude, when I saw the one, I was like,
it's the only good time to have bad rolls. But you see the potion, and it looks like it's separated in brown with silver in the middle and gray at the bottom. And when you kind of shake it, it kind of mixes for a second, but then it all kind of settles out to those colors again. Brown on top, silver in the middle, and gray at the bottom. Almost like bands of stone inside. But the shaking it still settles in that position. You move it, the liquid remains in that order.
No idea what it is. Just looks interesting.
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check to try and think about what it might be, but identify or a sipping check would be required to see if you can tell what it is.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be more inclined to taste test it. I'm not a.
If you taste test them, they're both the same. They're potions of climbing.
Oh,
Two
that's
of them.
cool.
that's
Two
great.
potions of climbing. And if you, because Doral's getting plenty of sleep, if you wake him up knowing he can figure out what magic items do, and he checks the item with his ritual identify, you'll find that it's a dagger of warning, specifically a dagger of warning against Grung.
John, did you
Useful.
see my whisper?
I did not.
Grung the frog people, not Grun our friend. Got it? Sorry,
Bring it back to camp. It's going
I
crazy.
misunderstood.
Can do.
It's never been brighter.
Thank you.
Oh, I already did. It's Kevin's character sheet.
I
Wait,
asked
what?
him I asked him if he can make something that we can record all our loot. Then he said, "Oh, it's you."
It's Kevin's character sheet.
I will record what we have so far.
Thank you, Andy.
Yep.
Should have a handout in player characters. Party treasury. Let me make sure you can edit it.
Doesn't seem so at the moment.
Now you can.
And you could check it over, folks, afterwards and make sure I didn't miss anything.
Cool. All right, and then Andy, go ahead and throw me a last watch.
Yep.
He's gonna roll an 18, 19, or 20, and I'm gonna laugh.
We all did.
No. Night goes by uneventfully. Azaka kind of keeps to herself, sees the matter out in the field. You told her about it. She kind of keeps an eye on it, waiting. As you two are kind of sitting there watching, you do notice that a large Allosaurus kind of moves out into the open field and starts kind of ripping the two adventurers apart. And she kind of shakes her head. A pity, but the foolhardy travel out here into the wilds and they expect to be safe. No one's safe, not even us. But we do our best. She nods her head. And you guys get to the final end of that. It gets to nightfall, and we begin the last stretch of out in the open and not terribly horrible places of death and dismay, and head into the jungle proper. So I presume your movement is either going to be here and then up, or you're going to try and move here and then through. Are you wanting to use one last square of safe travel, or are you going to go straight into the jungle now?
I would think use the one safe, no?
Yeah, safe. It's the same distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then roll a d20 for the first, separate from the other two, and then roll 2 d20. Ooh.
6 for the first, 17-20 on that last one.
All right. So let's
Oh, God.
Boys ready?
let's stop at the 17
Keep an eye on that dagger.
and go
It's
ahead.
about to get real.
Place yourself in this square, please.
Which one?
This hex right here. That's where we'll be stopping there for a second. And I need a D100, please. We are now in a jungle. Lesser.
60. 6-0.
You rolled 2 D100. The first one was a 42.
42. 4-2.
Good, because it was giant wasps again, and I was like, that shit's played out.
Yeah! We already know how to beat those.
All right.
We got the giant wasp card fucking dealt, man. Got it figured out.
Okay. Go ahead and make a D100 roll again, or D20 roll again. Sorry.
Oh god.
I know what you got.
I'll roll it. Up.
Six.
Okay.
Wait, is it D20?
No,
right?
it was a D20. It's 3.
Yeah.
You
D20.
rolled a 100, Jeremy.
I did do 100.
Sorry, I
He
changed-
said he corrected himself to
Oh,
20.
I did 2.
Okay. So as you guys are traveling into this portion of the jungle, you find what appears to be another adventurer. But this one is already kind of been picked clean of everything upon him. It looks like from the waist down, his body has been kind of consumed. It looks like the bones have been kind of picked clean, portions have been pulled away, but the top half of him, which is decaying, it looks like he's been dead for a couple of days, is impaled to a tree by arrows. It looks like whatever got to him was short and started pulling away his bottom halves, but it doesn't look like they've gotten to the top portions. Doesn't look like he has anything on him. Looks like he died a horrible death. The arrows very closely resemble the arrows that were launched at the adventurers you saw die yesterday.
Grom.
Kevin, Payroff, pull out your dagger. Keep it at the ready.
Do you kind of approach it to investigate the arrows more specifically to see if it might be the same tribe, or investigate it more thoroughly?
Yeah, I'll pull out an arrow and see if I can, like, if the heads, like the arrow tips, are unique, or maybe perhaps if they
As you-
have some sort of poison or.
As you move close to it, Azaka says, "Be wary." And as you kind of grab a hold of the shaft, the body goes and starts kind of moving towards you as best it can, animated and undead. It doesn't seem to get close to you as you kind of hold the arrow and pull it out of him. It does kind of let his body kind of dangle at that portion, and it seems to be kind of just lazily, or as with much energy as it has, trying to get after you. Still pinned to the
Oh,
tree.
it's kind of, I kind of have an RP thing with the undead for my character. So in seeing this half alive cadaver, I would bury my hand axe in it
Okay.
and try to like put it out of its.
Yeah. I mean, you just put the axe straight into its cranium, watches the skull and skin splits, the dry blood kind of coming out of its head as it kind of lazily kind of falls into a more death face state and stops moving.
Yeah. As I pull it out, I just Old Wine just goes, "Rest now." He kind of like turns away and kind of like spits at the ground.
Zaka says, "That'll be a more common sight here, and I do apologize moving forward if any of you or your friends here die. Similar treatment will be had." Hackenstone says, "Yep."
Yeah, is the arrow unique at all? Like, does it look craftsmanship, or
It-
is there any kind of poison or anything?
It looks like it's of Grung craftsmanship, but it doesn't look like it's the same arrows that were used to kill the adventurers out there. It looks like it's of a different tribe. And based on your proximity to Dungrelung, you presume it's Grok's clan of Grung.
How's the craftsmanship there? Is it pretty like
Pretty well made.
pretty well made? Okay, so they're not complete like savages.
Yep. All right, so on 20, go ahead and roll me 2 D100s, and also I'm going to read you some information about what you're passing by, as you are passing pretty close to Dungrelung. Close enough
Were
to
there
see
any
it.
kind of identification to this person pinned to the tree?
No. Looks like everything that was on him has been taken.
Okay.
All right.
That's a really high roll.
So, as you guys are moving into the next hex and kind of coming into this territory, what you're noticing is that the ground is kind of declining. You didn't realize it, but you've kind of ascended to a point. It didn't feel like you were climbing uphill, but you are kind of at a higher point than what you're moving towards. Down in the jungle, you can see a portion of it that kind of forms a clearing, but not a massive clearing. And kind of rising up over the jungle tops, you can see what looks to be the head of a very massive reptilian creature. It's not alive, it's just a big statue. Yeah, you can see the tops of it. Birds seem to be kind of flying around that area, yeah, it looks like a massive thing. When it's seen by the group, Azaka says, "That's Dungrilla." She kind of stays wary of it, and then I am going to look at this other chart and see what you rolled to get you killed.
Did he say see what rolled to kill us?
See what you rolled that's now going to kill you.
Okay, just make sure I heard that right.
Yeah. Yeah, the I would say it also looks like around the outside of what you can see from here. It looks like there's a massive like hedge that's been built around this head that kind of separates it from the jungle. And that's Dungerlin. And then 100 in a good neighborhood. Jungle lesser. All right. Okay. As you're kind of moving about, you can see as you move up on an area what looked to be about 20. Oh, no. What looked to be about 10 individuals in kind of dark colors, kind of got down low, and they appear to be kind of looking out towards Dungrelung. Looking at them from this distance, it looks like they're Faerunian, or Sword Coast Chandothan probably. And it looks like they're all kind of dressed in kind of dark colors and are kind of keeping to themselves. It also looks like they have a bit of a small campsite, but nothing too crazy or noticeable, like they're prepared to kind of maneuver and out and away if they need to.
And they're checking out Dungerlong?
Looks like they're keeping an eye on it, yeah.
Like, in a like they're gonna go in fashion, or like they're trying to stay away fashion, if that makes any sense. Or is there any way to like discern that without going and asking them?
It's entirely up to you. They look like they're focused on it, keeping an eye on it. You don't know what their intent is. You also notice that, let's make sure I've got this right. There's one that appears to be a leader. There does appear to be a priest. And roll 3d6.
Got it. 214.
So 3 kind of brigandy types and 4 Chultan warriors, similar to the ones that were posted up at Camp Vengeance. Azaka kind of looks to you all. They're not from here, probably adventurers hired on by guides. I wouldn't advise. And then she kind of stops and says, "Get low, get low." Everybody roll a stealth check.
Oh god.
No shit.
Rusk.
Hey, let me get him.
Ah, good dude.
Okay. As you kind of are getting low, Peroth is kind of like, huh? And Azaka grabs his shoulder, throws him down into a shrub, and kind of ducks behind it. You're kind of just looking like idly, Shadow, kind of focusing in on these individuals because you are starting to recognize patterns. But as that's happening, you feel a big old burly arm kind of grab a hold of you and dive with you into a shrub as you lay in kind of a muddy area with Hackenstone. Doral, you kind of just move to the tree and kind of like stand up close to it, kind of looking like the trunk in silhouette. Grun somehow gets really stealthy.
I learned it from my grandfather.
And the 2 lizard folk very keenly kind of move to areas to the side. What you see is that as you're kind of getting low, you see what appears to be a bird kind of flying about in your area, but it has leathery wings. Very small bird-like thing. But One Eye, you, Grun, and Doral notice that it's not a bird. It's a snake with wings that's flying around in a circuit, kind of orbiting the camp out there. of these black cloaked individuals.
I hate snakes.
What would you like to do?
Well, the snake it's like circling around Dungalung, right?
No, it's circling around the group of individuals that are watching. It's like a small serpent, like, you know, you could hold it in your hand kind of snake with wings, and it's flying around this group.
Yeah, I say we try to get out of here. We don't want to get caught in between whatever is about to happen.
Okay. With that stealth check, you're able to make it away and past these individuals. Shadow, make an intelligence check.
Sure.
Damn, I saw that as a good way to get into Dungalung, maybe. If you guys wanted to.
I thought it would be.
Something about those individuals is familiar
It'll
to
happen.
you, but you're not sure what it is, and you're trying to think about it, and you just can't understand. They look roguish, to be sure, but you don't know who they might be or what they're doing out here.
Well,
All right. Second roll was a 60, was it not?
99 and 50.
no, it was 99 and 60.
Yeah.
So great. You guys are traveling about, and you can kind of, you're not rolling terribly great stuff. You can tell that the area up ahead appears to be more densely packed jungle, kind of lower tree bottoms, kind of more dense area to move through. And I'd like for you all to make a stealth check as you pass through this area.
Not good.
Fucking
There it
20!
Okay.
Oh, this me and Rusk apparently is invisible. This
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 2 out of 6. As you're kind of moving through this area, you do notice that the trees start to kind of move a bit. It getting earlier towards the portion of the day, and as you're traveling at night, and this being the last square of your movement, it seems that they're moving a bit, and as you start to kind of focus in on why that's the case, you start to try and kind of move a bit more cautiously. Hackenstone kind of like, suggesting that be the case, but you're not sure what's going on until eventually from the sides of you and from everywhere about you, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these black creatures, and brown creatures. You look at them closely for a moment, but you're hard pressed to see them. They're kind of flashing about, bats just everywhere, just all about you. Let's see. I would say in the buffeting, some of them try and kind of nip at you, not knowing who you might be. So I'm going to go ahead and just make one attack against everybody who didn't get their stealth. Let's see. It doesn't look like they're, I mean, again, it doesn't look like they're trying to, they're just kind of trying to dissuade you from staying here. And bites. 1, 2, 3, 4 bites. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we'll go ahead and do failure number 1. So Peroth does a 6 hit.
No, the only one that hits is the last one.
Not you. You're not getting attacked by all 4. Shadow does a 14 hit.
Yep.
All right. So you're taking 8 points of piercing damage from the bats.
Okay.
Jeremy, you are a ninja in this game, apparently. You are the master of stealth,
Right.
shadows. Doral does a 14 hit.
No, sir.
Okay. Your armor seems to kind of buffet their attacks away from you. And let's see. Did you roll for you first and then for Rusk?
yeah.
So 23 hits, probably take 5 points of piercing damage as they bite at you.
Yeah.
They don't stay and linger with you very long. It seems like they're kind of buffeting away from you. If you want to turn this into a combat situation, you can, but it looks like they're mainly kind of moving back to their trees to kind of to nest up in this dense tree portion. That's where they're layering.
Said we're re-entering the day, right?
Yeah, they're moving to the treetops to kind of get into their positions to sleep. The trees' canopies are very dense here, so they're using them like other bats might use caves.
Well, once we're clear of this, I would mention some of the others. If they're headed to bed, this might be a good place for us to head to bed, because that's going to be another early warning sign.
Not too far from the bats, so that they're in between you and them.
Smart.
Okay, perfect. So if that's the case, we'll go ahead and I mean we only have about 8 more minutes, and travel portion will go ahead and get into it. But just so I have preparation for the next portion of the session, we'll get some admin out of the way. Go ahead and roll me 3d20s for the watch cycle. It'll go
12, 17.
perfect. Okay, so that last one will actually have something to the matter. So the first watch goes by uneventfully, the second watch goes by uneventfully, and for the third watch, roll a d100.
Oh, that's too late. Never mind.
Yeah.
4.
All right. All right. So you kind of bed down in this area, kind of focused on kind of staying where you're at, and cautiously. And as you guys are, the third watch, as Shadow and Azaka are kind of maintaining the watch, kind of cut scene kind of to a higher point, higher vantage point, looking down at the group as they're sleeping. And we'll start it next session as if you aren't seeing this as just for a cinematic end. The vines on the trees start to descend down, creeping, moving towards the group. And that's where we'll end the session. We'll begin next session with a random encounter with assassin vines. Exciting! Thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream.